You're listening to the Never Heard of It podcast,
a Night Shift Radio original. Every week we bring you the good,
the bad,
the weird,
and lesser known streaming movies.
Hit subscribe for new episodes every Thursday and Sunday.
Make sure to only clap once.
Yes. Because which is what tripped me up.
I did that to Michael twice recently. The first time I realized it, but didn't say anything, and it did fuck him up. The second time we had just talked about it, so I'm like, hey, I did it again. So
was it Willow Creek?
So I have to
was that what?
It was Willow Creek. That's what he clapped, and then he was like, it was just a little
Casey,
clap, but he
like
clapped
Willow Creek? Again. Well, we'll get to that in a second. I'm listening to it yesterday, as we're recording this. It's Monday, but I was listening to it yesterday. I'm like, Jesus, Michael and Caleb are really talking over each other. This never happens. That's when I realized, like, Caleb is responding a good 4 seconds before Michael's done, and then there's like a pause, and then Michael's like, "Yeah, I agree." I'm like, "Oh no, their audio isn't synced."
We're just we click with each other just like that. So we can talk at the same time, and we know what each other says.
It's like we finish each other's
sentences.
Sandwiches.
Do we want to tell the whole story about how I wrote to you and then what happened?
You don't have kids.
Oh,
that's right. That's what
it's
just explained that.
Yeah.
Right, yes, we've seen it 1,000 times.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
It is from Arrested Development.
Is it really? Did they do it
that's
first?
an Arrested Development joke.
Wow.
We're so good to each other. I mean, I feel like we finish each other's sandwiches.
So,
that is bold.
So
that
Frozen
Disney
did the same punchline.
Yes,
Yeah.
they stole it from their. It was their little like, we like Arrested Development too.
Oh, all right.
Wow.
That and almost
All right.
every main character at some point between the two movies says, "Wait, what?"
Oh
Wait, what?
yeah, I feel like that's a very Kristen Bell thing as well.
I
though.
think she started it, and everyone was kind of like making fun of Kristen.
Yeah, because that's kind of like, I mean, that's how
dare
she
you.
was on The Good Place. She was very
Wait, what?
Like, wait, what? Yeah, and that a lot of characters said that on The Good Place too.
Holy forking shirt balls.
Yeah.
Michael,
Oh, what
Yes. You're wearing the
Somnium t-shirt
Somnium
review.
shirt. Yay! So for those of you guys who backed the Somnium thing with $25 or more, you're going to get your shirt soon. They're in. Our posters are in. The shirt's in. So Todd, you're going to get yours soon.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they're really, really cool shirts. We're very excited about it. And Caleb and I watched a basically final cut. It was just missing the ending.
yes.
With the audio
Oh no! Did
and
we
the
forget
music
to
and
shoot the
everything.
ending? Damn
There
it!
was something. I knew we forgot something.
There's been a lot of back and forth about how exactly we want the ending to hit. And so the director's been trying a few different ideas, throwing them at us, be like, what about this? And we finally have settled on exactly how we want it to go. So that's where
How
that is.
exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Yeah.
So, question for you both. then.
Yes.
Even without the the final ending in place, what is that feeling of seeing your creation, an idea, and you've talked about it probably a million hours, and there it is in front of you. How did that hit?
So it's been a bit of a roller coaster for me. The very first cut that we watched was like, oh my God, holy shit, we did it. Look at this. It's amazing. And everything, like audio was jank as shit. The editing was super sloppy because it was just thrown together. Just literally just, hey, like, here guys, here's something just so you have something. But it was like, oh my God, we did it. It's amazing. And then over the subsequent, like, cut number 2, cut number 3, cut number 5, cut number 10. And it's like, just show it to me when it's done. But then we got this one, and I knew it wasn't done, but it was close enough that I was just like,
there was like those roller coaster moments where you're like, the first cut, Caleb and I watched the first cut. We're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like,
freaking
here's
out the whole
movie. And then like cut 3, we're like, oh my God, is it bad? Did we make a bad movie? And then like cut 4, we're like, oh, okay, no, we didn't actually make a bad movie. It is good. But I mean, it's
the worst
crazy
feeling.
how much editing can change an entire feel for a movie. Like we flip-flop 2 sections and it completely changed the tone of the movie. And all we did was just flip-flop them. And we're like, oh, this changes everything about the movie. And the ending ended up getting completely changed from the script for how we shot it and then how we edited it. It's kind of a different ending, but it makes more sense now.
yeah, there was a moment on the final day of filming, which Casey, you were there for when we were at,
Or Todd was there for.
No, the final day was at your place.
That was the train,
well,
right?
yeah, the final, but yeah, Todd is in the final scene.
Yeah,
of
no,
the movie.
so there
Yeah.
was a moment on the final day of filming where it kind of came to light that something got changed in the ending, and I didn't even realize that. Like as we filmed that part, it didn't even occur to me that like we completely missed a pretty crucial thing to my mind. Oh no! And I was like, "That's it. Film's fucking ruined." But then I saw it with what we did have, and I was like, oh no, this works. I like this.
I'm so interested to find out what that is, but obviously not here right now.
Right.
Yeah, no, well, yeah.
Oh,
we'll go.
yeah.
It kind of ruins the end.
But that is an interesting idea. Casey and I have talked about this many times on our podcast, SuperPodHeroCast. Guys with beers talking about movies with capes.
Be heroic.
We've often talked, usually when we're doing those really clunker movies, and we've asked that question. If you're acting, if you're in it, right, you're excited, you're working, you're in a movie, like, do you have that sense as you're working that this is not going to be good? And Casey, I think you've said many times that, the ability of the editor to totally change everything that happens.
It's huge.
Yeah.
You guys are living that.
Yeah. We're going to get to one of those in a couple weeks of a movie that could have taken like an editor that could just move stuff along because it's...
Yeah.
Move it along, guys.
Move it along, guys.
I will say I have worked on a movie, and I won't name the movie, but I have worked on a movie where
Just
while
name the
filming the
director.
movie, actually I don't even remember their name.
Oh, no.
I really don't. But I worked on this movie, and it was like, as we were working, I was like, oh no, this is a really bad movie. Like I could feel it. It was like the actors were like, I don't understand what's happening. There was rewrites every day. And like every time we'd film a scene, I'd be like, well, that doesn't make sense based on what we filmed last week. And I don't know if it could be saved by editing. It never hasn't been released yet. So
I know
for
which
anyone
one it
that
is.
goes through my IMDb, it's one of two. So, but yeah, it was very clear, like as like the because the actors would come back and be like, I don't know what's going on in this movie, and I'm one of the main characters. They're like, I don't know what's happening. It was really wild. That was like one of that one big moments where I was like, oh, I guess you can tell a movie is bad while filming it.
So I have been in shows that I have known were bad. Todd has seen two of those.
And I would like that 4 hours of my life back.
Yeah, that 1 4-hour show felt longer than the actual. It was I won't name the name of the show, but if you know what I've done, you'll know what it is. It was a World War II musical, and it was longer than the actual war. It felt like at times.
Springtime for Hitler.
Oh, Casey, I'm talking about a different one.
That one felt like 4 hours. That actually was 2 hours. That was. I will talk about that one.
Okay.
It was the Prince and the It was pretty much the Prince and the Pauper. And at one point, a very good friend of mine who played my uncle / father, depending on which of the two Prince or Pauper I was playing, explained to me who was
Game of
who.
Thrones?
And every night at the end of the speech, just the way it was written, in my head, I went, not a fucking clue. I don't know which one I am right now. I don't know what's
I have
happening.
no idea what's happening.
No
right
idea.
now. Yeah.
Nope, none. And it wasn't anything to do with how he was acting or delivering the lines. It was just so convoluted that every night I'm like, is the person on stage right now your son or is the dude off stage? You're for fuck's sake, I don't know.
So speaking of that, Casey, you curated all of Never Heard of It's main episodes this month.
It's true.
With found footage films. And we just did this past Sunday, Willow Creek. Now, I'm not saying that Willow Creek was a bad movie.
Oh,
No,
God, because
that
I'm
is
like,
not
wait, no, you're
necessarily the
segueing into it with, speaking of bad things.
Speaking of terrible
But-
movies that we fucking hated.
That was the worst time of my life.
Like about
Yeah,
halfway
no,
through the episode, I was like, fuck, did I choose the wrong thing for these guys?
No,
not at all. I didn't hate Willow Creek at all. But I did hate the guy. I forgot his
you
name
were
now,
100
but I did hate him.
supposed to hate Jim.
Cool.
Jim?
Because like
yeah.
the second, I think it was like the second thing he said, I was like, cool, I hope you die by Bigfoot in this movie because you are a terrible human.
Yeah.
So why did you choose that movie for us?
The 18-minute tent scene. To be honest
Yes.
with you, I have not
Yeah.
watched it in probably 2 years, but that 18-minute tent scene is the thing that makes me want everyone in the world to watch it. And also the simple line reading of, I fucked up. It's so good.
Yes.
It's so
Yes.
not.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Casey does love that line.
Oh my God.
That
So
line
because
has
it's so
come up
real.
multiple times. on
It's
our
so
podcast.
funny that you guys kept bringing up Blair Witch, but the whole Blair Witch is this.
Right.
Yeah, it's all shaky. Yeah.
And when, there's that moment where she's got the camera right up here and she's going,
Yep.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I like the more realistic, well, this is the end and I'm just going to apologize under my breath because that's the kind of character Jim is. Like you guys kept saying he's such an asshole. I think you need to go back and watch Blair Witch. All three of them are assholes.
Oh no, they're all terrible.
They
Oh,
are
totally.
dicks. I'm like,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
especially, who's the, Josh? No, not Josh. What's the other one's name? Mike.
Shit, I don't remember.
Do
Who,
not remember.
throws away the map at one point, and I'm like, hey.
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
Yeah.
But did the Blair Witch make him do it?
Yeah, they
you're-
all don't handle stress well at all in that film, and I mean,
Yeah.
that's a very common thing in films like that. The
found
characters
footage,
don't do
100%,
well under the pressure, and we get to watch them break. And I mean, the comparisons to Blair Witch are inevitable when you're talking about found footage,
especially Lost in the Woods found footage.
Yeah,
You're just
exactly.
Like, oh, Blair Witch.
Or, any kind of monster horror, Lost in the Woods sort of found footage. No, and like in the episode, I explicitly call out that like I mostly hated everything up to that 18-minute tense scene, but that scene made the whole film work for me because that was so well done.
Yeah, Todd and I had a tangent about this like 2 or 3 episodes ago when we were talking about Terminator Rise of the Machines. Not a great movie, but god damn it, that ending, you were just like, I did not see this coming. Holy shit. To the point where, much like in the episode, I don't want to say what it is. If you haven't watched Terminator Rise of the Machine, go watch it. It's a kind of a schlocky early 2000s movie, but the end of the movie, you're just going to be like, that was kind of worth it. That was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
There was
It
a
good
pretty
ending.
good. Yeah.
Fight, you might remember there was another movie we did recently where I hated everything like right up until the ending, and in the ending I was like, oh no, this works.
Yeah, I do remember that, but I don't
Was it
remember
Lake
what
Mungo?
the movie was.
It might have been. No,
Oh,
'cause
Lake Mungo.
well,
Lake Mungo definitely. The ending helped solve that movie.
But I also didn't.
sell that movie for me.
I didn't hate Lake
Yep.
Mungo because the constantly shifting, like, but is it this? But is it really this? No, it's this. Like that kept me on my toes and kept me interested. I do not remember which film it was, but there was one recently that just like right up into the end. I'm like, this is fucking awful. Oh, whoa. You did something here.
Yeah, those are the good ones. Those are the good ones. Those are
I like
movies
that.
that like redeem themselves in the last couple seconds.
And so coming up, we have As Above, So Below. That is coming out this Sunday for those of you watching when this one released. So you'll have to listen to that full episode to see what our thoughts were about that one. And then there's one more left. We're doing Hell House LLC, the director's cut, which is on Tubi TV. So
Look, I avoided this movie for the longest time because of that stupid ass title. But it kept
okay, I
showing
don't
up
know
on
anything
like,
about it, so I'm not going to be spoiled.
I love the title.
but like I was like, oh boy, this is going to be on the bad side of found footage. But it kept showing up on people's like best found footage movie lists, and I love found footage. I'm like, I'll give it a shot. I was like, that's actually a really good one. There's some really good scares in that movie. Much like
I'll take it.
As Above, So Below has some really good. Not even jump scares, just like holy shit, what just happened? Scares.
Yeah, it's just creepy stuff. Yeah, which you'll have to watch our episode or listen to our episode to find out.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yes,
will,
that's all I was gonna say. I was.
You
Let
will
me
learn
break
when
down
you
the
listen
plot
to the
for you right
episode
now.
why As Above, So Below is one of the scariest movies I've ever seen, and it's not for what you think.
No, it's true. So, speaking of scary endings, or just different endings and different cuts,
Sure, there you
we're
go.
talking about the season finale of She-Hulk.
There it is.
Now, I feel like we all enjoyed this series.
Oh my God,
we've
100%.
been talking about it for the past 7 weeks, right? I think we should do a little brief recap and then we'll jump into the season finale. So I think, we talked about this across several episodes, but it was very interesting that the fourth wall breaks were very front loaded and back loaded. And as Caleb pointed out, it is because of the director, or seemingly because of the director.
Fucking called it.
Did the first couple and then the last couple. And that's where we get them. But also, outside of that. The middle, it's a little hard to fourth wall break, and I think she did it not as often. And I think the director did a really great job, as Caleb said, of doing those fourth wall breaks. And then we got to see Jen Walters, and even she points it out in the season finale that like the story of She-Hulk is her coming to terms with being She-Hulk and Jen Walters.
I loved that. Like that is such a perfect encapsulation of what the character of Jen Walters saw her own arc as. She says, I was just learning to be both She-Hulk and Jen, and my life fell apart. There you go. That is the one sentence synopsis of She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
Pretty much. So I kind of want to do this. So excluding the season finale, I kind of want to go around and what was your favorite moment from the series? Todd, what was your favorite moment from the series?
That's a
Put you
one.
on the spot fast.
Yeah, it's later in the season because it's still fresher in the mind. But favorite moment might be when Man Bull and El Aguiar show up.
Yeah.
Like just because I felt like it was a rug, pulling the rug out from under me moment. Like I was not expecting that. I did not see that coming. It was just a total directional shift.
Yeah.
That's great. Casey, what about you? What was your favorite moment from the series, excluding the season finale?
I will say the moment that made me fall in love with this series is in is not the pilot, but the first episode where Hulk says something, I can't remember what, and Jen does one of her very first fourth wall breaks as She-Hulk and then does the double take. I was like, oh, God damn it, I'm going to love this show so much. Probably my favorite moment, though, is when we see how can we. Well, we've already reviewed it.
We've
when
spoiled everything so far.
Yeah, is in the hallway. And you're like, here comes another hallway fight. And then Jen just drops down. She's like, nope, that's not what this show's about. This is my show.
You were going to take a half an hour to do this?
We're gonna wait for Born Again to show some of that stuff. But I loved Charlie Cox so much. I mean, Tatiana obviously was great.
Sorry, random thought. I love this Daredevil, Charlie Cox, Matt Murdock more than the somber, depressing, almost DC universe like.
You motherfucker!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
God damn it!
Caleb, what's your favorite part?
I gotta echo the sentiment on Daredevil, and I don't think that this was a new interpretation or even a different interpretation of Matt Murdock and Daredevil at all. I think it was just the next logical step of this character who's been through this really dark, gritty origin story and taken a beating several times over by the Kingpin and come out on top, and he's still pursuing his dream. He's pursuing helping people with the law, and he meets a very like-minded person. And like specifically, not just Daredevil's in the show, that's my favorite part, but the way that he and Jen interact is so good. The chemistry right off the bat with their banter while they're fighting, and of course the fact that they get together. I love that. It makes my heart happy.
Her fourth wall break when she turns to us and she's like, or I'm not the only one feeling this, or we're all feeling this.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. That moment was so good, and then followed very closely by and yet my ass remains unkicked. Well, let's fix that.
That and the walk of shame the next morning.
Yeah,
he's just like, ma'am,
shoes on.
the woman walking her dog.
Full costume, no shoes.
Have you seen the meme? Somebody cut out him from that scene and put him in the Avengers Endgame scene where everybody's running. So it's like Captain America and everybody running at Thanos, and then it's Matt Murdock walking
with his boots in his hands.
Yeah. I agree with you. The Daredevil part was great. I think those really good. I think second episode, Casey, much like you, very early in the series, the one that got me was when Jen is talking to Bruce on the phone, and she's like, "You were a totally different person back then." Ha! Just makes that joke. It was just, I was like, that was it. That's that's that level. I mean, that's what I loved about like Deadpool.
Yeah.
I know that She-Hulk came first, but like the movies, that's what I love about that is that they're still poking fun of themselves.
Yeah.
Too.
Honorable mention, of course,
we can't keep
goes
the
to
timeline straight.
Yeah. Honorable mention, of course, to Madison and Wongers.
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I was really sad the
Bongers.
medicine didn't come back, but I feel like that was one they didn't predict was going to explode as much as
Explode, yeah.
it did.
Which,
yeah.
with how like self-aware and like prescient the writers of this show were with how it was going to be received, the fact that they didn't see that being the biggest fucking thing in the world the week that it came out, it's maddening to me. Like they absolutely should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
So I do want to talk about Wong a little bit, but we'll save that for later because that was a post-credit scene, and I want to talk about that.
What?
So let's start. Wait, there was a post-credit.
There were post-credit scenes in
Marvel
this shit?
does post-credit scenes?
So let's kick off the episode right off the bat. So we're dealing with the fallout of episode 7 of Jen hulking out on camera. She is in the same containment cell that Emil Blonsky was in, for that. And, she's like, we got to go after these guys. And all of her lawyer friends are with her. And they're like, hey, maybe we deal with you first. And then we can figure all
Let's
that
get you
out.
out of the containment cell. Then we'll figure out what to do next.
So you made us exclude the season finale when you asked for our favorite moments, but it is fitting for me to say that probably my actual favorite moment of this entire series was the intro of this episode.
The
Oh,
shot-for-shot remake of The Incredible Hulk.
Yes. I used to love that show so much. I watched it all the time with my mom, the same mom that fired Bob Kickle and Tom Kenny, by the way. We used to watch it together. But yeah, no, we used to watch all the time. When it started up, I was like, they're doing the thing. This is great. I thought it was great.
I really wanted a Lou Ferrigno cameo,
Yeah, me too.
but
As the Savage She-Hulk.
yes,
Yeah.
but it was just such a fucking brilliant, like the visual style, the narration, the music. As you said, it's just the shot for shot remake of the original intro, and the like super cheesy effects when she hulks out, and like then calling her the Savage She-Hulk, like all of that. I just fucking loved every bit of that. I thought it was brilliant, and it's like, yeah, I mean, of course they were going to do that, but I didn't see it coming.
I had the great pleasure of being at Todd's oldest son's wedding yesterday, and at the reception, I like tipped my toe in to be like, "Are you ready to talk tomorrow?" And you're like, "Oh, I'm 3 behind." And I said, "There's a moment," and we haven't gotten to it yet, but I was like, "There's a moment in the finale that you're going to be like, God damn it, they did it." And Todd texts me, and he's like, "Oh, the opening, The Incredible Hulk, it's great." I'm like, just wait. And he writes in all caps, "That's not the moment you were talking about?"
Yeah.
I'm like, nope, you'll get to it. Don't worry.
They so perfectly nailed in the same way that WandaVision so perfectly nailed every television era for each of those episodes. That equivalent, they nailed that the TV show opening. Michael, like you, that was for us Friday night at 8:00 was The Incredible Hulk. Then 9:00 was The Dukes of Hazzard.
Yes.
Yep.
And as a sixth grader, that was life did not get better than that. That was as good as it got.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And just the way that these writers continued, like I say these writers, like the writers of all of these shows, I think the shows even more so than the movies, honestly, the way that they demonstrate an understanding and a genuine love of the source material in the way that they like repackage and present it to us is, it's just so good. It's so good.
Yeah. So the episode, kicks off. We're dealing with She-Hulk, kind of all the consequences of not really her fault. And then, basically she gets the same thing that Emil got, is you get the inhibitor on you that says you can't turn into She-Hulk. You go off. She loses her job. She has to move out of her beautiful apartment.
Oh my God, I love that apartment.
Beautiful apartment.
I was sad. I was like, we're not
back
going to
into
see
her
this
parents'.
beautiful apartment in season 2? Come on.
I know.
Bullshit.
I know. It's such a shame because it is a really and it's like, it's right in LA. Like, it's right. It was, it looked beautiful. I was very jealous of it. I can't afford it because I'm not a hotshot superhero lawyer, but
Neither can she anymore.
No,
that's right. And that's why she
yet.
moves out. Yeah.
You're not
yet.
How do you think
Yes.
how do you think the inhibitor works?
Well, we saw with it later, and we saw with Emil Blonsky that so it goes around your leg, but then like a thing goes in you. So I think it what are those, like heart monitor type things? I think that's how it works.
It
But
worked
then,
on
like-
Bruce too. Remember, he had one.
He
at
had
the
one, yeah.
beginning.
So like
Oh, right.
It's
clearly
all
he's the one who
unstable
designed it.
molecules.
Yeah.
So
If we want to get real science about it, I'm imagining it's doing something to the gamma in all of their blood. Like the
Well, it's not. Was it stopping them from changing, or was it just monitoring when they changed? Because that was Emil Blonsky's thing.
Well, I imagine Emil.
No, because Emil transforms. Yeah, I think it's more of like a monitor than a suppressor.
Because he takes his off and puts it on a chicken.
Yeah,
did you catch that in one of the courtroom sketches?
That's right.
No,
it was on the chicken's.
That's what he did.
Yeah, it was on the chicken's head.
In one of the courtroom sketches during the end credits.
Damn it!
You see him like with a chicken, and he's got it like around its neck or something like that, and he's sneaking away.
Fantastic.
Because he's got his farm.
Tim Roth he's been a delight every time he shows up, and I don't associate him with that kind of whimsy.
No,
fun,
not at all.
Boy, he's good.
Wait a minute, hang on. 4 Rooms.
No, he is.
Oh
really
my God!
that.
If you like whimsy Tim Roth, go see 4 Rooms.
Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot he was in that. Yeah. He
that movie's fucking wild.
It's a crazy movie. Yeah, one of very crazy movies.
You would say that.
Yeah, I did. In fact, so we see the whole same thing in Emil Blonsky. She loses her job, kicked out of her apartment, moves back in with her parents. I love her mom was like, you can have your old room back, but all my exercise equipment is in there. I start working out at 7 a.m. We could be workout buddies. Yeah. She's like the epitome of like, oh my God.
Also the dad when all the reporters trying to come up, he starts spraying them. He's like, I don't care if there's a drought. I got water pressure for days.
Get out of my damn lawn.
I need more Mark Lynn Baker.
Mark Lynn Baker is wonderful.
That was another show I used to love watching too.
The moment where her mom from the other room, like, can you move the big dresser for me? No. Oh, that's right. You can't do the girl Hulk thing anymore.
She-Hulk.
So there is a moment in that where Nikki comes over and they're trying to solve the whole Hulk King intelligentsia thing, and Jen's mom shows Nikki a video of Jen dancing in college, which is very reminiscent of the whole AOC scandal. Where there's a video of her dancing around, but it's not as But
not
there was that video of her dancing around
Tatiana. I was like, oh my.
Yeah, because it's not like showing a thong or anything. She's literally just dancing on a roof with friends, and there's literally nothing controversial about it at all, but sure felt like there was for some people.
Depending on what news channel you watched.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What it sure felt like
news channel.
News, quote unquote. So she sees this video and she's like, oh my God, you have to send that to me. The scene moves on, but shortly after, this is that moment we were talking about before we went on, where it felt like I know we kind of had some predictions about Nikki. Maybe she's secretly, maybe she's a witch. Maybe she's behind things, like maybe alien or something like that. But it turns out none of them were true. But for a brief second, we see her posting the video.
Did we talk about that on this show, or was that a side conversation in the show? Because I don't remember.
Yeah, we never had it on here because I didn't find the video till after the video until after the last time I was on.
Yeah. So I didn't pick up on that at all. Like I never suspected Nikki. Nikki was always like A+ best friend in my mind.
Well, there's a moment in one of the episodes where the camera is on somebody else, but Nikki's in the shot and she spikes the lens and then realizes it and turns away. And it's just like, everyone's like, holy, and she's always got a star necklace on and everyone's like, is she part of the Coven of Chaos? Is she like our backdoor into the Agatha TV series?
Gotcha.
Like she still could be.
Was it Agatha all along?
I mean, it is still possible for something like that to come along later because like they kept talking about season 2, but not giving us any actual details about season 2, and
because it's not even guaranteed yet.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tatiana today is like it probably isn't going to happen. Now,
she said she doesn't have a contract for anything else.
So this may be some contract negotiation. My favorite thing that actors do, like, I don't know if the fans want it. And then she can just pull up Twitter and be like, look at all the fans who want me to. So I'll take that pay bump. Thank you very much. Also, Marvel, give her that pay bump. I don't care how much it is.
Give her whatever she wants because we need more of this.
God damn it.
Save it for the movie.
Really?
See you on the big screen.
Really? Come on, man.
We'll get to Kevin. So shortly after that, we get that brief moment where she's posting on the Intelligentsia site, oh my God, look at her begging for attention. And then it's like, I was like, oh my God, like this is it, right? Like it was Nikki all along, but no.
She's just setting a trap.
Sorry, can we step back? The end of that scene. So when she ends up back at her, the prior sequence when she ends up back at her mom's house.
Mm-hmm.
So going into her room, there was a Legally Blonde poster.
Yes.
And then she gets in her room. There's an Aaron Brockovich poster.
Yes.
So lawyer, law adjacent.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking like, okay, what else are they telling us here?
Yeah.
There was a prominent theater, smaller theater, smaller poster.
Yeah.
For Midsummer Night's Dream.
Yep.
With
with a Mephisto-looking character,
so
front and prominent.
Why would it wasn't like here on the camera, but it was clear enough that you could clearly make it out. So it's got to mean something. So
It feels like it.
I'm sorry. So yeah, thoughts. What do you think?
Well, they've confirmed Mephisto now. That Mephisto's coming up in Coven of Chaos. I think they said
something
that,
else that it was weird. It was
Something that it was weird in. Yeah.
Not Blade?
Yeah.
Ironheart.
Yes, thank you, Ironheart. I'm like her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ironheart is going to be because she's going against Magic Guy, the Magic Hood guy.
Yes,
that's
got to be what it is. So he must be using Mephisto's powers or being powered by Mephisto. Okay.
Yeah,
but I mean that
Midsummer Night's
also
Dream.
allows for another connection from. And so I mean, she's introduced in Wakanda Forever. She has her show, but that allows for an easy connection to Agatha or Wanda or She-Hulk or any of these other shows. If you just have that connection to Mephisto.
Yeah, and we know that Coven of Chaos is coming soon. That show is going to be up and running. Yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen is rumored to be playing Mephisto. Yeah,
he's fabulous. I'll watch
got the
anything
face for it.
I did literally this evening just see a fan made shot of Cohen as Mephisto.
Okay,
and I saw it and I was like, oh my God, it looks like the caricatures of Jews that, anti-Semites use.
You're right.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's not going to work. Let's rethink. Let's find, let's not do that. Yeah.
Well,
because they basically put his face on like a devil's frame, right? And I was like,
that's no good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just wanted I get one more thing on the Midsummer Night's Dream. And I'm wondering, so the image, but I pulled a quote and maybe it was just a little nod to the, misdirection they're going to do towards the end of this episode from A Midsummer Night's Dream. Are you sure that we are awake? It seems to me that yet we sleep, we dream. And I was like, oh, are they dangling the it was all a dream?
The writer's room sequence where they say, what if season 2 is just one extended dream sequence?
Yes.
Yep.
Like,
oh, look at you, clever writers pulling some Shakespeare out.
So if they did that, well done.
Well done,
you got
indeed.
noticed.
While we're talking about red-faced villains coming to the MCU, it is confirmed that Harrison Ford is playing Thunderbolt. And please make him the Red Hulk, just because I want to see the behind the scenes of Harrison Ford wearing the mocap suit and being like, what the fuck is this shit?
He's never going to do that. I've seen so many people being like, oh, I can't wait for those interviews where people are going to be like, so what did you think about Captain America? He's going to be like, who the fuck are you talking about? Because Harrison Ford does not give a fuck about anything he does. Have you ever, he's like his Star Wars interviews where they're like, oh, what do you think about like Han Solo being a Jedi? And he's like, what the fuck's a Jedi? It is the greatest thing in the world because he does not give a shit about any of your fan fiction lore or even not even just the standard script lore. Look, he's probably lucky he even read most of the script that he's not in.
So the only time he's been like game for doing stupid shit was for Force Awakens. And we're like, wow, Harrison Ford's turned a new low. That's why.
Yeah.
When we all know why. If you've seen the movie, you know why Harrison's like, I'll do anything because
I'll do it.
I don't have to do this shit anymore.
No one,
but
yeah.
I mean, he kind of demanded it too. It's like that's how I want my character arc to conclude.
And he had two things. He said, one, you got to do this, and two, I don't come back. And that was that.
Well,
Well, he said that he wasn't going to come back as a Force ghost. That was his, because somebody asked him, like, oh, do you think there's a chance Han Solo could come back as a Force ghost? And he's like, what the fuck's a Force ghost?
so then
That's a famous interview. That
I won't go into. No, we can't go down the rabbit hole of why
We're not
Rise of
gonna do a Star
Skywalker
Wars.
makes no fucking sense.
We don't have a Star Wars podcast, and God damn it, I would love one, but I don't know it enough to make a Star Wars podcast. But I would love one so much. But that's a whole nother story. Nightshiftradio.com/pitchfest. But
You don't know it enough. I don't like it enough, so it's not going to be us.
That
two
would be.
Star Wars
See, that's what you need. You need someone who loves it and someone who's like, this stuff is shit. And then it's like
That's
the
what I think
constant
about all
back
Star
and
Wars.
forth of no, this is why it's good. No, this is why it sucks.
yeah, I love Star Wars, but I also recognize it is some of the worst made science fiction films ever. That it's only good because it was first. That is
And
my.
it's not science fiction.
I said
No,
we
it's
don't have
fantasy.
time
Well,
for that debate
yeah.
because
We don't have
you,
time to go
Tyler.
to that
The,
debate. Yeah.
easiest, the end, the beginning and the end of the argument is what is the very first thing you see on the screen in every single Star Wars main movie? What does the title say?
Space.
No.
Oh,
Long time ago in a galaxy far, far
galaxy
away.
far, far
What's
away.
another way of putting that? Once upon a time.
Once upon a time.
They're fucking fantasy films.
It's
All
just
right, I'll take that.
It's just
Han Solo
fantasy.
calls Ben Kenobi a space wizard.
He's not wrong.
It's fantasy set in space.
Yep.
Sometimes,
I'll take it. Space
sometimes
opera.
in
So
space.
yes, but I hope
Sometimes
we get
it's-
Red Hulk, which gets mentioned in this episode.
Or was it this one, or was it last episode?
It was
Last episode,
last
she says,
episode.
"What if we turn the Hulk? What if he turns red?" Yep.
So I was trying to
so
get
they
us
name
back
dropped
into the
that.
conversation of
No,
She-Hulk.
you're good. You did good. Yeah, I mean, I think the whole middle of this is Jen. Is like, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
I know who can understand me more than anyone because Bruce is not answering her text. She's like, I'll go to Emil. Emil
Nice.
has literally dealt with this.
Sorry, nice touch with both Jen texting Bruce and Emil. If you looked, it said not delivered because
Not
Bruce
delivered.
is in space, and it's
Yep.
established that there's no cell signal at the compound, and yet there's a big old plot hole that's going to show up in a minute.
There's a little
Yeah.
cell
She does.
signal.
She does find a space. She finds a little.
Well, it's Pug.
Where Pug was
right.
is where Jen could not get signal 3 episodes
Which
ago.
eventually, I mean, it kind of, Caleb, you're going to say, because it kind of goes out.
I would say they might have
Kind
different
of.
carriers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they
I
have
was literally
mid-mobile?
just thinking that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
possibly.
they're on Mint Mobile.
Yeah.
Make sure to subscribe to Mint Mobile. Ryan Reynolds is part of the Night Shift Media Network.
Yes.
Not actually, but maybe.
This
It's
episode
it's
is,
canon. He is.
It's not brought to you
Oh,
by
that's-
Mint Mobile, but it should be.
It should be.
Problematic.
No, I mean there was
It
definitely a
could be.
time a long time ago when I was traveling the country with my friends, and we all had different cell carriers, and there was one location specifically in like the mountains of West Virginia where I was the only person who had service on the day that we really needed to make and receive a very important phone call.
So
Weird brag,
that's
but
a
okay.
possibility.
I mean, I ditched that company a long time ago because they were garbage, but like they saved me that one time.
Was it the
so
one that
this-
was the fast running one?
It was American Telephone and Telegraph.
Yeah, they suck too.
Sorry,
So-
the stink bugs have invaded one.
Oh no!
Oh, that happens to me in my living room all the time. They crawl in through the side of the screen door.
So I'm sitting there and it literally just crawled like about. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
To,
And
no,
so
you're
if you were-
good.
to
and
quote
if
my
you're
favorite
watching me, I
Dolph Lundgren
jumped.
movie, "Don't Kill It."
Yeah.
Yeah, great movie.
Don't.
Yeah,
kill it.
so she goes to the compound. She's like, I got to clear my head. I got to find a meal. We do find out maybe that Saracen is in fact not a vampire,
Just using pig
or maybe
blood?
he is. Because he's using chicken's blood, but he also is having regular tea. I love the line where he's like, I kind of miss the chicken blood.
That's pretty good.
You got to be careful. Saracen might sneak some chicken blood in here. That's great.
Well, that might be the only way that he can drink it. Maybe he enjoys it, but like it has to have blood in it for him to be able to drink it. And
This is true.
he's using
This is
chicken
true.
blood
We don't
because
know
they're
that.
on a farm.
Yeah. We don't know how vampires work yet in the Marvel universe.
We meet him in the daytime. That first meeting, the
We
group
do.
is in day,
Yep.
so I assumed that he was not a vampire. Although Man Bull clearly has been transformed.
So he is a man bull. So yeah.
And also, Todd, sometimes vampires can put on a lot of sunblock and walk out into broad daylight, like in a park.
I saw no motorcycle helmet, so yeah.
So she goes there to try to find Emil because Emil's the only one she thinks who could understand her. Emil's busy. We find out that Emil is hosting a special event, a private event at the lodge. Now we're going to cut over to Nikki and Pug, who are doing this undercover sting operation for Intelligentsia. She gets an invite because of the video she posted. Pug is the guy because, he assumes that he's a guy.
Pug, are you still here? I need a favor.
I need a favor. I'm so glad they brought them full circle back as well. So Pug goes in, and what do we get our reveal that literally everybody, including us and the internet, predicted? Who is the big bad guy?
It's Todd.
Of course, it's Todd.
And I think that's why, much like one that's going to happen at the Fast and the Furious ending of this series, this season, both of those, they were like, everyone's going to figure it out. We don't need this to be a big bum moment. Just Todd is Hulkling, a Hulk King. So you're all right.
Yeah, he's not Hulkling. Hulk King. Yeah. So Todd is the bad guy, and you're right. It is not supposed to be a surprise, right? Nikki even says well, of course it's him. That tracks.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly. And I think even the ending with Bruce. We predicted that episode 1 or 2, the episode that Bruce goes off world. We're like, well, this is why he went off world.
When the ship from Sakaar showed up in the first episode, I'm like, well, they're here obviously to get him, to bring him. Yeah, this is, and I feel like that's why they were just like, here you go. Okay, can we move on? All right.
Good. Yeah.
I love how fucking casual the reveal is too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just
dinner.
Well, Kevin even hints to it where he's like, oh, but we got to bring Bruce back because we have to have him introduce his. She's like, yeah, save it for the that's at least because he's gonna say for that. So Pug goes in, he finds out it's Todd. The whole thing happens. Jen busts in, trying to look, not necessarily bust in, but walks in, sees everything going on, sees Emil as Abomination, and she's like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be the Abomination. He's like, oops, sorry. And then she's like, what are you doing? And then Nikki and Pug walk in, and she's like, this is Intelligentsia. Todd is in charge of it. And then our big ending happens, and we see that Todd, just as we predicted, was synthesizing the Hulk serum so that he could become a Hulk and take down She-Hulk. And just then, Titania busts in out of the wall. I love. She's like, "Get this bitch, use a door." I thought it was great. It was absolutely fantastic. And then, as all that's happening, and then, Abomination is there trying to stop her from Todd as Hulk. And then, of course, Bruce drops in. Yeah. And now here is Bruce to save the day. And Bruce and Abomination start fighting. But no, we're not doing that ending.
I love how she just keeps looking at the camera throughout this, is this what you want? This doesn't. None of this makes any sense. And especially when this chaos broke out, I was just like, what? Okay, I saw the Hulk blood thing coming, and that kind of makes sense.
Sure.
But why is Titania here? Why is Bruce here? What? Why are he and Abomination fighting? Well, of course I know why he and Abomination are fighting. But what is happening? Why is where is this going? When she said
was
that,
this
I was
the other
I am
moment?
right there with you, Jen. I have no fucking clue.
Yeah, this was the moment, this 20-second span where I'm like, uh-oh, we may have jumped the Hulk shark.
Yeah.
Shit. But then
we need to trust the writers.
They stuck the
my
landing.
favorite moment of the entire series happens where she's like,
Yeah?
is this working for you? Boom. All of a sudden it's the Marvel page on Disney Plus. And I was like,
Yeah.
what happened? Well, because I watched this.
I did that too for a
day
brief
of.
second. I was like, wait, what?
And all of a sudden she's like, wait, don't go, don't leave. And she punches out her square. And I'm like, God damn it, they fucking did it. She did the thing from John
literally
Byrne's
broke
run
the fourth
of
wall.
She-Hulk.
Yep.
Oh, so good.
So, We watched it when we got home from a 15-hour drive, and we're tired, but not like go to bed tired, like just worn out. And so we got really stoned in order to be able to fall asleep. And I think it was probably about the time that hit when that scene came on, and Ellen was totally like, "What happened? Who hit the button?"
She's like, turn it back
like,
on.
oh, did I sit on the remote?
No. I think watch. I think it's in the show.
It was so
Absolutely.
good.
So Todd, was this the big moment that because this is the from the comic, right? Ripped right straight from the comic.
Yeah. And again, it's the and I think I want to think that the John Byrne. I was trying to find the digital art online before we start recording. I want to think John Byrne revealed himself in that comic. He drew himself for the back of himself.
That's funny.
I think so. I think you're right.
I think it was an homage to Kirby. Kirby did that. The one above all. I think Kirby drew himself originally, so it's like derivative.
Well, Stan Lee did that too in Spider-Man. Stan Lee was in, he was in the cartoon, but I think in the comic, Peter Parker goes and actually visits Stan Lee.
Oh yeah,
and
for one of the episodes.
Bugs Bunny did it too.
Well, yeah,
it's true. Sure.
Yeah,
I mean, they did it so well, but the whole striding, like as she's walking, I'm thinking of all the visuals of She-Hulk in the comic where she's intentionally kind of crossing boxes or panels, essentially. Just, I was like, well, that's a static medium, so on TV it's moving, so she's walking
through the set. Yeah.
And it's all the real like Disney Marvel Studios at Disney Studios. They actually filmed all of, and I love that. Like,
did they really?
Yeah, when she's like walking in to see Kevin, it becomes like a handheld. Like they don't know where she's going. Mm-hmm. Like, even the camera.
There's a scene where it's in front of her and then it goes behind.
Yeah,
her.
it's like, oh shit, we weren't ready for. Okay, we're going here now. I loved it. I loved every second of this.
I was only disappointed that it wasn't like the actual staff of Marvel Studios, like the actual writer, the actual receptionist.
Well,
no, Jennifer Gow's in it.
Jennifer Gow is the one who's like, well, what did you expect us to do? That's Jennifer Gow.
Well, there
she's the showrunner.
There are a bunch of actors that are credited as like writer Jessica, writer Zeb, receptionist, etc. So like that's not the actual writer's room, which is what I wanted. I wanted them to like the writer's room to actually get their moment on screen.
I got nervous because thinking through those traditions of the creator showing up when they referenced Kevin made that decision. I'm going to go see Kevin. I'm like, I had a moment of panic where I'm like, as cool as it might be for a second to see Kevin Feige on screen, I'm like, what if he's a bad actor? And then I'm like, don't put it like, what if it's really him and you couldn't recast him because everybody knows who he is. So I had that. So then when we got, Wally's buddy, then yes, I actually felt better about it.
So apparently they went to Kevin Feige originally to voice Kevin. And he said in no uncertain terms, no fucking way.
He hates being on camera.
He knew I'm not going to be able to pull off the jokes in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's smart of him to be able to do.
I mean,
it's disappointing, but it's respectable.
Yeah.
I recently was trying to describe how important Kevin Feige is in the movie making world. Like not even just in Marvel, but in just filmmaking world. Like Kevin Feige is one of the first people to take a franchise, like this is the largest franchise that's ever existed, right? Like this is, at this point, I would say it's even bigger and more successful than Star Wars.
Yeah.
Just because of how far it's spanned.
Movies, TV shows,
streaming.
To the point where a couple of years ago, there was talk of Feige taking over Lucasfilm too.
Star Wars. Yeah.
I'm like, no, just let him say it if you spread him out too thin, it's not all going to be good.
Yeah.
And so much so that Feige has become almost a verb. Like, oh, you're going to Feige the Star Wars universe. You're going to Feige the DC universe.
I wish I was going to Feige something. I'll tell you that right now.
So like it's become a thing where like he's now the standard when it comes to producing large franchises like this. Yeah. Like that's how notable he is. Like cinematically speaking, historically,
it still bums me out that Jeff Johns wasn't able to like even replicate a portion of that success because he did so well with the comics
he took over
as editor.
He's not not the best individual in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always ends up being the case.
Yep.
Bill Murray.
I
We just
didn't-
found this out.
I didn't know any of this, but
Wait,
I'm
what?
not surprised.
I
and
missed
now
the
I'm
Bill
sad.
Murray thing. What did he do?
Oh, Bill Murray's like a terrible human being.
A lot more allegations.
There's a lot of allegations about him, and then right now there's a story where he dangled Seth Green as a child over a trash can because he was sitting on his couch.
I mean,
Like
who
Oh,
hasn't
no.
wanted to do that though?
Yeah.
He's gonna
yeah.
show up in a big movie pretty soon.
Oh, they're re-editing the movie now.
Are they?
cut
Are they
most of the
taking him out?
scenes. Yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to end up doing it, but they just halted a film that he was on.
Oh
that
no,
they're
I'm
gonna do
talking about a
because
film
it's
that's in
pretty
the
bad.
can and comes out in a couple months.
Yeah, Ant-Man. I doubt anything will
I
happen.
was-
with
I was
that,
not
but it's
gonna
some
say it
other
'cause-
film.
Sorry, Todd.
No, that's no. I mean, again, even if you're not clicking into stories, Scar was spoiled for me through
Yeah.
a title,
Yeah.
a article title. So,
Yeah,
they
dear,
wasted
dear,
a day
dear
and then it
news
was-
media, stop spoiling it in the title.
Yeah, be better.
Yeah.
Be better.
Yeah.
Don't be
At
dicks.
least you got to wait like 48 hours or like more, at least, I think, for these sort of shows.
way more.
Yeah.
You think so? My
Wait till,
like
the,
48
wait till the
hours, I think.
Monday and then start doing the can you believe
start-
spoiler appeared in so at least you know like there's going to be
Yeah.
a big reveal like
But,
don't
like,
put the
yeah.
name never put the name of the character in or let's talk about that moment. I love for a
Yeah.
while that's what they were doing like let's talk about that moment in this show. I'm like okay like if you haven't watched the show yet I'm not going to click on this thing but I know there's something big's going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah. So big moment. She halts everything. She walks through the Marvel Studios. Loved the posters in the background, which are real.
Yep.
The I want you to put your cell phone away.
Yeah.
I have seen photos outside of that. So she gets in and she gets to the writer's room. Like, what are you doing? We can't be doing this. And they're like, well, what else do you want us to do? And she's like, it's the same story. He gets the serum, which is super soldier serum, which is true because that is what Hulk was trying to replicate.
Yeah.
In the original Hulk, he was trying
No.
to.
It was
in this franchise. It
in
was.
this
Oh,
franchise.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, in the
movie world.
MCU,
Sorry. Yeah,
he was
sorry.
trying to
Yep.
replicate the super soldier serum. Yeah,
Yep, it's referenced in
And-
Incredible Hulk. Yeah.
Yep. And then, they're like, well, she's like, well, I'm going to take it up with Kevin. And we get to meet Kevin.
But not
who is just a
before
robot.
she signs an NDA.
Yes.
But
Which is very.
she's forced to sign the NDA, and then they still call security on
She's
her.
like,
And I
why'd you-
loved her-
why'd you-
Why would you
Why'd
do
you
that?
make me
Everyone
sign
signs
the
the
thing?
NDA.
Everyone's
Fantastic.
That was so
and,
funny.
so I do like what they did. It turns out Kevin is just an AI robot that predicts these endings.
Did anyone
I
write down
forgot
what Kevin
Kevin's
stood
near
for?
perfect.
Knowledge something or other. I forgot.
It's got to be in the trivia
So
for the episode.
while you look it up,
Oh, it's.
the fact that Kevin
I wrote it down.
Okay, go
Oh,
ahead.
you wrote it down? What is it?
Oh yeah, it's knowledge enhanced visual interconnectivity nexus.
Okay.
All right,
So that
that's
was
great.
spoiled for me during the writer's room scene. They have fixed it since I watched it.
They
So-
fixed it again. Yep.
Yeah, because when it first came out, it said no one gets to see KEVIN as a what is that, an anagram?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like,
No,
so
acronym.
it's not thank you. I'm like, okay, so it's not Feige. It's a robot. Like I knew
Yep.
then, but then when I watched it today, it would just said Kevin. I was like, oh, good job, guys. Way to fix that. Maybe-
Yeah, that happened to me too. I watched it the day of, and it said KEV, and I was like, ah, and then I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. Yeah,
Yep.
but then I watched it again today, and it just says Kevin every single time except for the times that they spell out KEVIN.
Yep. Once the reveal happens, it becomes KEVIN.
KEVIN.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's very cool.
Yeah. So, and did you catch his little black hat?
oh my God. I did not. You pointed it out to me.
I missed that.
So the robot has like a black visor over it, and then like a little black like hump over it that has KEVIN, like word the words out, and it's just like the black hat that Kevin Feige is famous for always wearing,
Got it.
which is absolutely fantastic. Like what a wonderful detail. To that, and we get our big moment where Jen is like, "Look, it shouldn't end like this," and she says exactly what everyone we've been talking about this past series of like, Todd being the Hulk is not the villain. Like Todd is a villain enough
Yep.
because of the shitty things he does. Like he doesn't, it's not that he's a Hulk. He doesn't have to do, the Hulk thing out to be bad. He is just bad because he ruined, Jen's life. She even says, the story is me coming to terms with being Jen and She-Hulk. And then we get, where she eventually starts asking questions of like, hey, when are we going to get, I'd love that she called out the daddy issues thing.
Star
When are we
Lord,
getting
two
the
daddies,
X-Men? And
lots
she
of issues.
like winks at the camera.
No, it wasn't. It was the face she made when she said X-Men was the most adorable thing Tatiana has done
It's
the
like-
entire series.
It's like just as a fan, she's just like, win!
Did you like the little teaser? So there were a couple of moments where I thought we were going different directions. The teaser when Nikki bursts in, after Daredevil's night, and Nikki comes in, and Jen's talking to the camera. Nikki like jumps from the side, and she's got like styling products or something.
Yes.
The Wolverine
Like the
gloves.
Wolverine
gloves,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. And then we got the Wolverine thing on the website.
I missed that. What was that?
Man with
in
metal
like
claws
episode,
and bar fight.
Yeah.
I think it was like episode 2 or 3.
That's
She's looking
right.
on the
That's
yep.
right.
This
Yeah,
show
Man with
has
Metal Claws.
absolutely confirmed for us that the X-Men are coming. Like,
I mean, we know they are because of the
Well,
thing
now
that
they-
Ryan did, that Ryan and Hugh did just a couple weeks ago. Like,
yeah. But
Yep.
even before that announcement, this show has been telling us and telling us and telling us, and I love that. Like they're putting all these little subtle things in, and then suddenly not so subtle.
it was so interesting because you guys were talking about how like Todd got the Wakandan spear. Is he going to create adamantium?
Adamantium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that didn't happen, and I'm wondering if I don't know what they're gonna do because they're bringing Wolverine.
I feel like that one is just gonna. I feel like that plot line is just at this point has been like retconned. Jen retconned it, right? She's like, no, that's not what he did. He just stole everything, like because that she takes away the fact that he hulks out, which basically I think erases that whole plot line of him stealing her
Getting
blood
the
and all
material.
that. Yeah, that it's just he's just bad because he started this site against her, stole her information, that kind of thing.
Filmed
I
her.
think-
I think the filming still happened. I think the filming.
The filming still happened.
Yeah.
He stole all her
Which,
stuff. Yeah,
Of all the things they could erase, maybe that's the thing. 'Cause
The
that's horrible to do.
original attack with the Wrecking Crew, right? Wrecking Crew? Because it's Wrecker.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
The original
Yep.
attack, I think that happened. I think Todd's
Yep.
original intent was to get the serum, and I think what she retconned was just his success at doing that, of getting
He
the,
actually did it.
of like being able to create a syringe that'll actually pierce her skin, of being able to figure out how to turn the blood into a serum. Like he tried, failed, and moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So so the big moment she, goes through is like, no. Abomination, Emil, I just want him to atone for, what he's done. Hulk, Todd is just the bad guy. He does not have to Hulk out. Bruce doesn't swoop in and save me.
Thank you.
And then she's like, hey, can we bring Daredevil back? Like, I really like
A woman has needs.
A woman has needs.
But also but you've ruined everything that I've done. Well, that's what I'm a Hulk. That's what we do. We smash things, and sometimes we smash Matt Murdock.
Yeah,
That whole
I love
line,
that too.
Like Bruce smashes walls, Bruce smashes things, I smash fourth walls and bad plot lines.
I don't know
Sometimes
how
Matt
much of that
Murdock.
is original, but I would love to see Jen go at Wade, quip for quip.
Oh my God.
I
The
wanna
internet
know
is
how that would
exploding. Like the
work.
people who like the show, which if you don't, you're not watching it the right way.
Yeah.
Everyone's like,
If you
I
don't,
cannot
you're
wait for
intelligentsia.
I cannot wait for the Jennifer Walters, Wade Wilson scene that will eventually come to fruition. I'm like, yeah.
Where they
has
just
to.
come stepping in front of each other trying to talk to the camera. No, I'm going to talk. No,
Or
I'm
even
gonna
better,
talk.
like one of them looks at one camera and like Deadpool's like,
you see
no, the
the-
camera's over here, and then it cuts. It's like, no, my camera's here, and they do like breaking different fourth walls. That's what I would
Oh,
like.
God.
I want this to be in a scene that also includes several other Marvel characters, so we can see like Kamala and Kate just like back away.
Like, what is happening right now, right? Yeah, because that's going to be the thing is when they get into those other, when Hulk, or even Deadpool for that matter, when either of them get in with other characters, they don't ever break the fourth wall. They just sort of, he breaks the fourth wall and it kind of stops happening. The world stops almost.
Right.
So it'd be very interesting to see the two of them do it, and then to see somebody else being like, "What the fuck are both of them doing right now?" They're both literally just talking there. It reminds me if you have kids and you have not watched the live action Dora the Explorer movie. And if you ever had kids who watched Dora the Explorer, you need to actually watch it. It's actually not a bad movie, but there is a scene in the beginning of that movie where she's a little kid and she turns to the camera and says, "Can you say blah?" And her parents are like, who is she talking to?
When they do that.
It's fine. She'll grow out of it. She'll grow out of it. And it's great because that's what Dora used to do. She used to talk to, because Dora was a computer program. Fun fact, by the way. That was what you were watching. You were watching a computer program. Watch how the beginning of Dora, every episode of Dora starts with the computer starting up and you going into the world. Dora is a computer program that you're playing.
Oh shit!
I know.
blew Casey's mind.
I don't know what to do with this information.
Turn on literally any episode. Dora is the show of Dora is a computer program.
So
that's
that
why
would
there's always
involve me
the mouse
actually
click.
watching Dora the Explorer, which never happened. But
which is never gonna happen. Yeah, we did watch Dora the Explorer,
Yeah, we
and that
did
was
too.
my
It wasn't so bad.
realization.
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
my god, what?
Yeah, Caleb.
My brain hurts.
This is wild.
This is too much to process right now.
Caleb, you
So
have that
that's
nice
our big
couch
ending.
behind you. You should just go lay
That's
down.
gonna-
Lie down.
So I need to lay down. I'm feeling faint.
So I need my tizzy couch. So this is our big ending. She erases it, rewrites it better, to how
good.
it's supposed to end. She solves the day. Matt Murdock comes back. She gets to be She-Hulk again. She gets a job back. We don't know if it's the same company, but she gets a job back as a lawyer. And our reveal, right?
I love when Matt jumps down and she's like, "Oh yeah, it's all taken care of," and he's just kind of like so disappointed. He's like, "Oh really?"
Oh,
It's like,
Did you
but
get a
I'm
look
really
pug?
glad to see you again. He's like, "Oh well." Like Matt's like, "All right, I'm gonna get some."
Yes,
Great.
Matt is ready. Did you notice how worn his helmet is already? That brand new
Yeah.
helmet that he just got made.
Well,
It's
he
like-
gets into a
LA's
lot of
rough
tussles.
place.
He's been getting in a
Yeah.
lot of fights. Like, Matt, you need to slow down. You're like, you're a smart guy. You're going to give yourself some really bad concussions and like other internal injuries and whatnot. And just like, listen, like you've already nearly bled out in the Catholic Church at least twice.
twice.
It's kind of my thing. It's what I do.
Yeah. And then here's another thing that we predicted. It's kind of all over the internet now. But Hulk shows back up. Hey, I got to introduce you to my son, Scar. And so I mean that I feel like that's another one that like if you knew that Scar existed before you walked into the show,
Yep.
as soon as Casey, you said it. As soon as that spaceship shows up, it's like, well, that's what we're doing,
Scar, yeah.
right? Yeah.
I love how the internet is losing their mind over Scar's haircut. And I'm like, do we remember who cuts hair on Sakaar?
Yeah.
It's fucking
still
Stan Lee. Like, you saw what he did to Thor. Like,
Well,
bad-
did you guys see
wasn't
the
a bad
Onion headline? Man on doomed planet, mostly concerned with color of characters in films. Or something like that.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
saw
God.
it. Yeah, that
Once
sounds
again,
about
the
right.
Onion. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah,
yeah.
So I don't think I knew, and like obviously I took y'all at your word when you predicted that he was coming, but I don't think I knew that Scar existed because the only family I could think of Hulk's was from the like Old Man Logan side universe.
Not the family you
Yeah,
want to know.
let's not get into that family.
Yeah, like we don't want that family.
That's pretty fucked up.
That's kind of what we would have gotten if Intelligentsia had gotten their hands on the serum.
Well,
Yeah, yeah.
I loved also
Tell me
they
I'm
kind
wrong.
but they kind of like pointed out how fucked up that is in Old Man Logan in the first episode. Jen makes some sort of comment about how fit Bruce is as Hulk, and he's like, "Gross, Jen, I'm your cousin."
yeah.
Cuz when you get to that
Game of
reveal in
Thrones
Old Man
over here.
Logan, you're like, no.
Yeah, no. So Scar. Well, in the comic though, Scar is part Kree and Hulk, right?
Right. We covered it
so.
on, if you go back and make your way through Todd, myself, Colin, and Chuck working through Planet Hulk, the animated film.
Yeah.
We lay this all out there in it, that we talk about, oh, hey, there's this, this son that he has named Scar. This was 3 years ago, Todd.
It was, I think it was after our second season.
Yeah. So
It's gotta be.
it's a while ago, but it's so weird that now it's relevant. Like, we're like, this is never going to matter. We're never going to get to this shit.
But here we are.
Who knew?
And
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are. with
Holy
Scar.
cow.
Yeah. So we get Scar. I think, and so this recaps the main part of the episode, right? So that's, we get our new ending. We get Scar, the reveal of Scar. We get the reveal, of, She-Hulk and fourth wall breaking in through Kevin. And, but then, we get through and we get our post-credit scene, which I kind of want to, I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. We've gone for a long time, but there is one thing that I want to debate of what did they mean when they said it. So we see Emil, it's post-credit scene. Emil is sitting in his cell. Wong portals in. And he was like, hey, sorry it took so long. And he's like, oh, did you get wrapped up in another show? And he's like, you were really living in peak TV. And then it goes in. So here's the thing. Is he saying you got wrapped up in another show because the plot of Wong is that he was watching Sopranos? Is it that he got caught up watching another show? Or did he get caught up being in another show?
I think it's going to be a double meaning if they're leaving
You think
it
it's going to be a double?
purposely ambiguous. That it's either one.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to ask, is that because we're like, oh, the Thunderbolts are coming. That's not a secret. And at first I'm like, oh, the Abomination's going back to jail. It's going to be them breaking him out of this. But now he's in Carmitage, and I'm like, oh, maybe they're not. Wait.
Do you think it was significant that the word peak was capitalized in the subtitles?
Oh, I did not notice that. Well, my subtitles are all capitalized, so I didn't notice that.
Mine are not. And when he says we're living in an era of peak TV, peak is capitalized.
Interesting. Very interesting.
That
I wonder
might be a
if,
completely irrelevant detail that just is an artifact of the captioning, but then it's just and he puts enough emphasis on it that it makes sense to capitalize it if there's a double meaning.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I also enjoy at the end where he's like, so what's the situation? Is it a communal fridge? And he's like, do we have Wi-Fi? And Benedict Wong's delivery of, yes, we have Wi-Fi. It's like, we made this joke in the first Doctor Strange movie. Like, we don't need to go to this well again. It's almost like Benedict Wong's like, really? I was in that movie. We did it. We don't need this in here.
Yeah, that was the Dr. Strange. He was like, and here's the password for the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, what is this, my mantra? It's the Wi-Fi password.
Yeah.
We're not savages.
I love that. So there's She-Hulk as a series, or a season one. I think it was great. I really enjoyed it. There's not a single episode that, Casey, you called the Marvel formula, right? Where the last two episodes are the big explosion, the middle episodes are one-off adventures, and the beginning is the one that sets the plot. And yeah, it is formulaic in that sense, but I do like that it didn't turn out to be a for real King Hulk that she goes against. I love that they brought it up and then we're like, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Yeah.
I was so scared when that showed up. I was like, no.
Yep.
Don't do it.
Same.
They could have found a way to make it work, but it like the tone of this show as a whole, just makes so much more sense with her ending. And I love what she does. Like, this is my show. Like, this is not how I would do things. And I'm like, okay, how would you? And she writes the perfect ending.
Yeah, it's a really
she
great
does.
ending.
She writes her own perfect ending.
And it's also a really great ending because now it leaves a lot of little stories that can form season 2. There can be an overarching story, but then this one episode, we got to go to court with Todd. Oh, well, we got to figure out the Abomination. Oh, this. Yeah. There's a lot of little threads that they left to make a good season 2, please. Marvel
She
give
even
us a season
says
2.
like, she's like, my show is a legal comedy, right? Okay, then I'm going to make my closing argument. You know, so like she even acknowledges it is a legal procedural comedy, which I think is great. I don't know. I was a really big fan of the series. I'm glad you guys all enjoyed it as well, because that would have made all these episodes very awkward.
This stuff sucks.
I think for the Marvel Cinematic Universe to continue, we've got to be comfortable with more dynamics in terms of scale.
Absolutely
agree.
Like everything can't be a successively larger villain, right? It becomes ridiculous.
Yeah.
So which means we have to be okay with some of the stuff is going to be, small scale or silly or whimsy. And I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I expect that we'll pluck She-Hulk up to the major leagues when we need her, and the rest of the time do whatever. Like I loved what we got in this series.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love for those like superhero series that would end without a big battle. Like even if we do a serious one where it just is like, it's just drama and conflict, but they happen to be superheroes, and you don't, maybe there's some battles throughout the series, but the finale isn't in some big, 30-minute long fight.
Yeah, that was my one hang up. Wasn't even a complaint with WandaVision. That did such a good job of doing all these different genres, and then by the end it just became pew pew
superhero. Yeah, because it was dealing with grief the entire thing, and then it ends with just a big old magic battle, which was still cool, but
that's
really
why I'm saying it's
like,
just a hang up. It wasn't
this is what we're doing. Yeah. Here it is. Hey, so thanks a lot for joining us for this whole thing, guys. We super appreciate.
Thank you for having us.
Hell
Yeah,
yes.
it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Of course, yeah. We figured you were the experts, being SuperPodHeroCast host, guys with beers guys with beers talking about movies with capes. Yes, I thought I said that backwards, but I got it right.
Guys with movies talking about beards with capes.
Guys with capes talking about beers with capes.
Yeah.
Wait, Todd, do you do a superhero podcast?
Oh, I do. Do you do superhero?
Oh my God, this is crazy.
Shocker. Who knew?
You guys haven't met about it? That's
my
so
God.
what a coincidence.
You two
I'm
should
glad
get
we can
together
make
and
this
talk
in-
about superhero movies. I think you'd have a
All
lot
right.
to talk about.
I'll give it a shot.
Let's see what we can do. Oh, hello.
See if we can make that happen.
Hello.
Hello. So if you are not subscribed to or listening to the SuperPod HeroCast, make sure you're doing that.
Yeah.
Great. They've just covered X-Men Days of Future Past. That was like 2 weeks ago.
The Road Cut.
Which is really great. And the Road Cut. And then you guys, I think, are just released or about to release Blade.
No, Wonder
I don't
Woman.
remember
Oh,
when.
what?
Or Wonder Woman. Yeah, Wonder Woman 1984.
Well,
Okay.
you know what our next two movies are on.
Maybe. We were talking about Blade, so I don't know. I just pulled that
You don't know what
randomly.
We'll tell you
out of
when
a
we're done
hat. That
recording,
wasn't
but
my
we
thing.
just pulled a real fucking doozy.
Oh
Great.
no!
Off to this is a good season
This
for
is
you
the
guys.
season of pain. I've decided it's the season of pain.
Yeah.
So, Todd, if people wanted to find you on the internet, where could they do so?
Sure. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, the handle @TMP in SYR.
Very nice. Casey?
I'm not as cool as Todd. Mine aren't all the same. On Twitter, I am not Ryan Casey. On Instagram, I'm not .Ryan Casey. I did it a couple episodes ago on SuperPod HeroCast. I should probably say it here. I have a letterboxed that I'm going through all the movies I've ever seen and rating. That is
Amazing.
CJRACT. So if you want to see the thousands of movies I've seen and how I feel about them, that's where it's going to be.
I don't even
and
remember
of course,
most
all
of
our
the movies I've seen.
I know, right? And of course, all our Twitter handles for those of you watching on YouTube are here on the screen, so you guys can see them. Write them down now. Pause. Go and follow.
I don't know where you're going to put them,
everybody
so I'm just
here
going to go
on
right
that.
across the screen.
Yeah,
There
the
we go.
bottom
There.
left. I don't know where we'll end up being. And if you're not following the Night Shift Media Group account, it is Night Shift MG, and we will tweet out Casey's letterbox, so you guys could follow him on that if I remember to do it.
Let's see what happens on Thursday.
We'll see what happens. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. We'll all forget by then. And of
Forget
course,
what?
if you're not subscribed to this, what were we talking about? Please make sure to do so. If you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe. We have brand new episodes on Thursday. If you're listening on your podcast player of choice, we have brand new episodes every Thursday and every Sunday. Sunday are our full episodes where we do our movie reviews of movies you've Possibly Never Heard Of. Possibly Normal, Never Heard Of. Dropped 2 shows in one. So definitely check that out. Thanks a lot for listening, everyone. Thanks a lot for being on the show. We super appreciate it. And as always, make sure to share with 100,000 of your favorite guys with beers talking with movies with capes.
That's us.
And then they'll all be heroic and do the same.
That's right.
Exactly. Thanks a lot for joining us, everyone. And we will see you on Sunday for Hell House LLC, the director's cut.
Ooh.